Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back
Walaikum
to
salam.
another episode of the Science of Farming show. Sister Melody, we were on a 2-week hiatus, but thank Allah we are able to join live and to have such an exciting show today as fishing. I just cannot wait till we jump into it. But before we do, I want to open up in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. Thank you all so much for joining us. I bear witness there's no God but Allah. Muhammad is his messenger. For those who are coming in and giving us the greetings, Assalamu alaikum. Sister Melody, you are looking fly and cozy.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, again, we have a wonderful and exciting show today, and we're talking about fishing, a very, very necessary survival skill. So, you want to get started, Sister Melody, or you want me to jump in?
well, sis, let me just kind of introduce you because, you shared with me that, of course, you've been doing this since you were very young. And I'm
Mhm.
telling you, I ask my students, have y'all ever been fishing? And they say no. And fishing out is our number one, I want to say, job.
Right,
In terms of like what we have, we strive to go out and help other people. So
right.
we call that fishing in the Nation of Islam. So I used to be a top fisherman at one point, and I hope to become a top fisherman again. But go ahead, sis. You go ahead and tell us your experience that you had growing up, because I would love to hear it.
Yes, ma'am. Well, yes, like you said, my dad, when I was very, very young, he would take us fishing because he loved to fish. And when I was younger, I didn't really appreciate it as much as when I got older. And then we had a home that was on a ski lake, and we had a pier that went way out into the water. And so to sit out there on that lake and fish, and we used to fish for brim because it was fresh water. So we would fish for brim, bluegill fish, all the smaller fish that we can eat. And it was so amazing. And we would have people that would come and visit on our property. And when they visit us, they would ask us if they could go fishing, right? And so they would go out on the pier and we would say yes. And they try to give us a little fee, but we were like, no, go ahead. We were blessed to have the property. We're blessed to share. Well, check this out, Sister Melody. We had a gentleman who, for a long time, he just wanted to come out, right? He said he had come out. The property was very historical. It used to be, it's called Lake Pretty. And it was one of the beaches that only Black people could go to, one of the lakes that only Black people could swim in Odessa. And so he said he used to come to the beach when he come to the lake when he was young, right? So he asked us if he could come out and visit the lake and fish just one more time. And we told him yes. Well, he came out on the lake, took his boat out there, he fished, and he caught a bass about this big. It was amazing.
Whoa.
But guess what? He passed away the very next week.
Oh,
Mhm.
sorry to hear
So
that.
we were heartbroken, but we felt so blessed to have been able to allow him to fulfill his dream to fish on a lake that he grew up on one more time. So that, it was just so rewarding to have him there and to know that he fulfilled one of his life's mission or dreams, you know what I mean, to fish on that lake one more time. But in terms of
Wow.
fishing, sister, there is nothing like fishing and eating fresh fish. Nothing. I'm telling you, that fish literally melts in your mouth. It is amazing. And I wanted to touch on a few things. If we could bring the music down or turn it off, a few things I want to touch on when it comes to fishing, because I know our show is about farming and gardening, but we also talk about farming and gardening from the aspect of survival. And so that's why we didn't think it was robbery to touch on fishing, because that is one of the life skills that we need, a survival skill. If we don't know how to do it, we need to learn. But it's also a sustainable food source, and it was very therapeutic. I remember it being very therapeutic. You talking about getting inside of yourself as you throw that rod in and you're waiting for, the fish to bite. it's almost like you're in harmony and in rhythm with nature. It really does calm you down. And one thing it taught me was patience, because
Yeah.
listen, just because
Yes,
you throw that
ma'am.
bait in there does not mean you're going to catch a fish. Because sometimes I would feel the bait, something nibbling on it, and when you reel it in, you think you've caught something, and it may be a crab. If you're saltwater fishing, it may be a crab or something that's gotten onto your hook and taken a piece of it, and so you get frustrated with that. But it definitely teaches you patience to just try again. And of course, I do want to touch on one thing, that physical aspect of it, because you are casting, you are picking the fish up, you're getting your worms out of the bucket, or squid, whatever you're fishing with. You're moving, in addition to having your periods of just sitting still. So it's very, very it can be very physical if you're deep water fishing like you were. It can
Yeah,
be
I
very
love
physical. Yeah, yeah, because I've done that as well. It can be very physical, but the mental health is amazing. Because didn't you feel better after you finished doing that?
Oh, sis, ever since I came now down here to North Carolina, Sister Wanda was like, I'm going fishing, I'm going fishing. And I was like, for real? So I went, she told me go to Walmart and go get me a fishing license. Cause down
Right,
here, if you don't go deep sea fishing, you got to get a fishing license. So I
right.
got my fishing license. You need a license. And I forgot if you had to be a certain age, but I got the license. Unfortunately, we didn't go then. So it was Sister Wanda's birthday, but she had been going with her daughters. And she invited me, and I was like so happy to just get invited. And we went to Virginia. Of course, we have the video to show, the audience and stuff. But it was such an amazing experience for me because Sister Wanda said that even in New York and Coney Island, like I only went there to buy fish at Sammy's or something like that, where we went to City Island. But she said that that was like how they had to live. They had to like, fish for the food they had to eat. Cause she said they had 8 sisters and brothers,
Wow.
so that was their way of really, how they ate, you know, and they didn't have, I guess, the means to just, go out and buy Sammy's and all these, stores at City Island and stuff like that. But sis, I think, again, I asked my students and they teenagers, I said, have y'all ever went fishing? And they said no. So, this show is to encourage brothers, hopefully sisters and families that, take our children fishing. I mean, come on. We got to get our children that's like where I'm from, the concrete jungle, to be in a have an opportunity to enjoy and do something different, so it was such an experience for me. We went again to Virginia. I think they do it every so often, but that was the last time they was doing it for this season because I guess the weather. And
Right.
well, everybody caught fish except me. I got seasick, but
Oh,
overall, it was a really good experience. So I did get some. They shared with me, and the fish, the sea basses. Oh my goodness, that
yeah.
fish was so good, so fresh. I cleaned it, and yeah, we need to learn how to clean fish as well. If we're going
Absolutely.
to end up going fishing, we need to learn how to clean it. So, sis,
Absolutely.
it was fun, and I will do it again. I just would rather go on a calmer day. The
Mm,
water was a little rough, but I totally enjoyed the people I was with, and hopefully y'all will get to see the video and
right.
see the fun that we had on that fishing trip with the girls.
Yes, ma'am. We are going to show that video shortly. And I do want to let our audience know there are different types of fishing where you can go. You can go in saltwater fishing like Sister Melody did. And I've done saltwater fishing. You can charter a boat, actually. There are a lot of boats that'll go out. And we're talking about really huge boats. They go out and they have about 15 to 20 people on there, and you can fish, and they give you generally squid when you're saltwater fishing like that. In deep waters like that, you're fishing with squid. So for those who are squeamish about touching the squid, they're dead and they're usually chopped up. So you can fish with the squid. You can also fish off the side of a bridge, which is also saltwater fishing. You can do that as well, or you can do it like for us, we had a lake, so you can fish in the freshwater lake. Now, for rods and reels, you can go and get rods and reels from Walmart. I believe it or not, they do have a rod section, a whole fishing section. You can get your supplies from there. And the items that you can fish with is like what we were talking about, squid, or you can fish with worms. There are people who still, yeah, fish with the worms. I didn't like touching the worms, but you
I
can
don't
fish,
know.
you can fish with the worms. And you can also fish with I can't remember what they call them, but it's like the fake little fish looking bait that you can put on there. I can't remember the name of it. It's escaping me right now, but you can fish with that as well. So you can do different types of fishing. And it is a lot of fun. It
What
is.
about the ponds, sister, that people are striving now to build ponds? I know I want a
Yes,
pond
yes,
eventually
absolutely.
in
A
my
lot of Absolutely. A lot of people, when they're buying the land and property, they're digging out. If it doesn't already come with a lake or a stream, they're digging it out to create a pond there, and they're filling it with fish themselves. And there are fish farms, but we're kind of leery of the fish farms because of what they feed the fish. It's not necessarily in what we consume, so we don't eat farmed fish. But if you want to have a pond and fill it yourself, you can definitely do that. So, but yes, lots and lots of fun. And I see a lot of people saying that fishing is everything. So let's see what time it is. You want to go ahead and show the video?
Yes, ma'am, please.
You all are in for a
Where I'm at, gone fishing, wasting some time, gone fishing, leave my troubles behind, gone fishing, rest my mind. If I don't get away, I'm gonna lose my mind. Price is too high, my money is low. My friend who asked me for a loan ain't my friend no more. Yeah. What's the use in worrying about things you can't do nothing about? Be happy, go lucky.
That is so beautiful. Oh man, sister. It looks like you all had look at that, a wonderful, wonderful time. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So we're gonna hold the picture right there for a minute. So that's everybody in the picture.
Yes, Sister Wanda. I believe she have on the red shirt or sweater, and those are all of her daughters. I
Oh
mean, she got
wow.
daughters like from 30 to up, later, almost my age. So, we had a ball. Now I feel like I'm part of the family, and every time I hear that song, now all I could think about is going fishing with them. And our relationships, we end up getting an Airbnb the night before so we
Mhm.
could be on the boat on time, and then we went and got something to eat together. So it's an opportunity to build affinity with people. It's an opportunity to just again learn a survival skill, eat
Right.
some really good food. And I mean,
Right.
it's something, it's like a lost art, sis,
Right.
because again, in New York, that wasn't something that we did regularly, or we didn't do it, period. But so I just think that I'm praying that somebody on this show just look it up, find a way to take their children fishing. Brothers, we need y'all. We
Yes.
looking for brothers, we looking for y'all to support us with the things that we talking about moving forward, so we could
Yes.
have what we need do for
Whether,
self.
that's right. And listen, so audience, whether you fish a lot or not, you need to go ahead and buy, and I'm even speaking to myself, the rod and reel. Go ahead and buy it, put it in your survival kit, because you just never know when you need it. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So,
Yeah.
but it is a life skill that you do want to take advantage of. It's not hard at all. If I can do it, you can do it. And I do want to touch on what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us in How to Eat to Live, that we don't eat fish weighing over 50 pounds. So
Right.
I know in some areas, some charters will go out, and in some cases, they catch actually grouper. but we don't eat the grouper. That's something that we would give away or probably, throat toss back, but we don't eat the grouper because it is over 50 pounds. And there was something else I was going to say. Go
I
ahead.
wanted to share too, sis, that when we came back from fishing, you had about, it looked like ICE was out there. It was about 3 police officers. They had their cars. They was checking the Vietnamese brothers. They wanted to see the sizes of the fish, making sure you can't get fish that's too small. If it's
Right.
like a half an inch too big on that line that they say, you got to throw it back in the water. So those are the things we need to know about when we do go fishing: the type of fish, the size you can have, the size you got to put back, and they're going to check you. It's a $500 fine if you get a fish that, I guess it was too small, or one that you
Right.
wasn't supposed to keep. And they on it. I mean, we had, I want to say, approximately 35 to 50 people on the boat with us, but yeah, they was out there, they was checking. So again, the experience and knowing these things are better than just staying home on a computer, and just looking at people TikToks.
Right, absolutely. And you had mentioned like having or needing a license, and that is absolutely true. If you're going to be fishing, especially locally, you definitely need to have a fishing license. How much was your fishing license?
Well, I got the one, it was $20. If I would have got one for the whole year, it would have been about $45. But I'm not you gotta be a citizen of North Carolina or
Hmm.
wherever you at. You gotta have that particular license to get a year's fishing license. So yeah, I got the one, just was temporary, and it was from one date to another date, and that's the time frame that I could use it. So it,
Right.
again, just learning everything that I needed, the things that I felt we should know about it. And Sister Wanda gonna keep me on it because she is like hooked. I'm telling you, she is hooked. And then that fish tastes so good when you come home and you can share it with your family and clean it and cook it. They clean your fish too for you on the boat if you
They
want, for
do.
a small price.
Yes,
And
they do.
it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And all those sisters that I traveled with, oh my goodness, we had such an amazing time, and they all have great, great personalities.
That is so good. Yes, when you do charter, you want to charter with a few people because that definitely makes it a lot more fun. Now, you don't need a license to charter. At least you didn't the few times that I did charter, right? You still don't need the license to charter.
No, we didn't need a license, and they supplied everything we needed. The squid, is
Mhm.
it called?
Squid.
And they supplied the fishing rods. They were pretty expensive, I heard. And it was about $80 per person, but it was worth it. It was, you could catch up to 15 fish.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody again caught fish except me, but they shared with me. So
Yes, ma'am.
I
Well,
was
the
happy.
things you also talked about was when you went out, the waters went choppy, or they were a little choppy. Now, the first time I went out, the waters were very calm, but the next time I went out, I experienced those choppy waters. So I know exactly what you're talking about. So if you are going fishing, you do want to prepare for that. If you just examine the weather, because if it's choppy, yeah, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna
Yeah, the
feel it.
guys, they had that Dramamine, whatever
Yeah.
that pill is
Hmm.
called. And it
Right.
was I should have took it before I got on, but usually I don't have a problem with waters, but I never went that far out. So it took us 2.5 hours to get to where we was
Yes.
going to fish. And
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, you couldn't see land far away, and I'm thinking of Trump and this ice and all this craziness. So I'm like, oh God, maybe that was part of my, mom playing tricks on me too. But it was, again, and you lose reception with your phone out there. So
Mhm.
it's something to do and experience, I think, now, because you just never know.
Right. And they also have the patch that you can put on behind your ear, the same thing you would use if you're cruising. going on a cruise, you can put the little circular patch on behind your ear too. Yeah, better to be safe than sorry, because that's a miserable
Yes.
feeling.
Yes, it
Oh,
is.
look at this, Sister Melody. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, that's Sister Wanda. You know, she was the first one to catch two at one time because the hooks, the fishing rods we had, you could catch two fish at a time.
Right,
And,
right.
yeah, she caught a big bass and a sea bass that is, and
Mhm.
you know, again, it was just a wonderful experience, and I will do it again.
Yes,
I just
ma'am.
hope I don't have to go out so far because I'm used to going, you know, the Bahamas and places like that where you just go right in the water and on the boat, and right there you start catching fish. You didn't
Mhm.
have to go that far, but everything is real. Everything
Yeah,
is real.
it is. And I'm looking at our comment box here, and Sister Valerie, Assalamu alaikum, Sister Valerie. She talked about, she said Walmart has a beginner rod called an ugly stick, and it's good for starter poles. So that's good information to know. Mhm.
Absolutely, yes, yes. And our children, you know, once they, you know, get into it, hopefully that'll be something that they'll want to do regularly. Because I heard a lot of people, especially men, that go fishing, you know, it's just relaxing.
It is. It is very relaxing. And even Sister Sabrina Brown Muhammad, she mentioned, Assalamu alaikum, Sister Sabrina. She mentioned the motion sickness medicine also. So if you're sensitive to the water, even if you don't think you are, I definitely recommend that you at least put that patch on behind your ear, because you just never know. Because again, you're not just standing, you're not close to the shore, you're way out. So you're definitely going to feel that boat rocking. So
Right.
what picture we have next? Oh, look at that. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
see, it's a
that's
big
my
boat,
girl,
right?
Sister Tasha. Yeah, she that was her first time, but she started, and I mean, she started getting it in, you know. And like you said, you got to use your arms, you got to wheel them in and stuff. And she had a great experience on that boat for her first. About half of us that went, it was six, seven, or six of us all together, and half of us was the first time going. And
Yeah.
again, everybody, you know, caught
Mhm.
fish except me.
Well, let me tell you though, but that's where the workout comes in when you're charter fishing like that in those deep waters, because you're throwing out, you're almost catching it as soon as it hits the water. You sit there a few minutes and then it comes, you're coming out, then you're throwing back out. So it can be a lot of work. So, and you can walk
Yes,
around on that ship all the way around, right? That particular boat.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
ma'am.
Right.
Tasha was
And
way on the other side because sometime if it was so many of us together, our wires was getting tangled, you know,
right, right,
together. And we were saying that, oh, we got to move and spread out. So then, you
right.
know, our rods wouldn't get caught up together.
And what I like about it too is there are people walking around helping you that actually work on the ship. Well, at
Oh,
least when I went,
yes.
yeah, and they're very, very helpful. So yeah, they're
Yes,
always
they
there to
are.
help. And so what's our next picture? Because I do want to come back and just remind me I want to shout out Sister Valerie. So just remind me of that when we get
Okay.
through the pictures.
We
Oh,
got
look
5 minutes. That's Shalana, sister, Wanda's daughter, and I'm telling you, she fished regularly.
at
Her and
that.
her family. She got 5 boys, I believe, and they go fishing. So she's a pro.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, she's a pro. Yeah, she caught her fish. I'm sure she shared it with her family and
And
everything. So
and I was thinking about because I remember initially being even squeamish, even though I used to fish young, but I never liked taking the fish off the hook. But they can even assist you with that as well. And also for those who don't want to touch the fish, you can buy gloves and go ahead and take the fish off the hook like that. So
you want
don't
to take some gloves with you for sure
absolutely.
because once you get that fish, you want to hold it in a way where because it gets slippery
It gets
and you
slippery
want to be able to,
to
hurry
hold
up
on
and
to it.
grab some, get some more out of there.
Right, right. So that was the end of our pictures. I mean, what an exciting time, Sister Melody. And you know what? I'm so glad that you experienced that, because it did remind us to talk about fishing as a very, very important life skill and survival skill. Very, very important.
Yes, that was the symbol of Jesus, right? He had
Yeah,
a fish.
yeah, that's what he used, the fish, right?
Right.
Absolutely. And so I want to go ahead and shout out Sister Valerie, and thank her so
Yes.
much. She sent me some star fruit, and so from
Me
that, Sister
too.
Valerie, yes, yes. So thank you so much, Sister Valerie. May Allah continue to bless you. You're always willing to share. And she also sent me this leaf of life. I want you all to write this down. Leaf of life plant. And this plant is used for a cold
Healing.
coming on. Anytime your allergies are acting up right now, it's wrapped up in a tissue, like the inside of the tissue holder. But it's going to grow. I'm going to repot this. And if you feel your allergies coming on or feel a sore throat coming on, you just pop one of these leaves. It gets pretty big. So you want to pop it off and just chew on it, and bam, it'll take it away right away. So when you're looking for a medicinal plant, this is the one you want to plant. It's called Leaf of Life.
Wow, yes, sis. When we traveled with mother, one of the bush doctors, Dr. Saunders had a similar plant, I believe, or if not the same one. And me and Sister Kava will remember we had got some of that. So yeah, the earth of God has provided us with everything we need. It's just that
Absolutely.
we don't really know how to, well, a lot of us just don't, know the benefit
Right.
of some of the herbs that might be right in our backyard.
Thank you. And Sister Sabrina said, thank you all for sharing. I have never had an interest. You all are giving those of us a little apprehensive to take the leap to try fishing. That's exactly what we want to do. You've got to do it. And
Now
we're
tell
almost at
Sister Wanda to come out here too, and let's
yes.
interview her because she's a wealth of knowledge.
Yes, we've got to have Sister Wanda on the show. And one last thing I want to show before we close is, if you all remember 2 weeks ago, I showed this. This was at that time it did not have any roots on it, but this was a pineapple that I was given, and so I cut the pineapple and saved the top. And I just wanted to show you. All I did was, as I mentioned 2 weeks ago, I cut it off, cut off the bottom, peeled off the extra layers. And now look, it has roots. It's only been 2 weeks. So I'm going to wait for this to get probably another inch, and then I'm going to put it in the ground and look forward to having some pineapples in about a year or so. It's going to take it about a year to actually, year and a half or so to fruit. But listen, every time you get a pineapple, do that, and you will not run out of pineapples. So we're
Yes,
at the end of
ma'am.
our show, Sister Melody. It was so much fun.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Go fishing. Go fishing.
Go fishing. Thank you all so much for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. We have another exciting show in store for you. So we greet you in the greeting words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, sis.